you're now standing here on the 3rd floor. Most people that come to Waverly Hills, they already know some of the stories. Maybe they've read some stories on the internet or talked to people. And most people already know this is the floor that we most commonly see a little guy that we call Timmy. Timmy is an apparition of a little boy, probably about 5 or 6 years old. And it is very true that if you come in here on an overnight half night, where you actually have some time to sit here very, very quiet and still, that very often you can bring in a toy ball and roll that ball down the hall, and he does roll the ball back to the group. Now, I've actually seen it happen. I've been doing overnights in here before, and our group was sitting right here where you're standing. They had brought in a toy ball and asked could they roll it down the hall. So they did. It actually went down the hall and went around the corner just a little bit, so we could only see about a quarter of that ball from where we were sitting. But we sat and we waited, and we waited, and we waited, and sometimes it never happens, unfortunately. And I thought that was what's going to happen this particular night. So we waited a little bit over 45 minutes. Finally, I told the group, I said, guys, look, I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. Let's go on and move upstairs, and maybe we'll find something up there. So right as I said that, we all started to kind of shuffle around, getting our stuff together. But we hear something down the hall, so we stop, and I turn on the light, shine it down the hall, and sure enough, here comes that little ball right around the corner again and come all the way down, stopping right in the center of where we were sitting. I've seen this happen numerous times. Something else that you see from time to time in this hallway is an apparition of a man and or a white dog. Now, I'll be very honest, I have not seen the man on this floor. But I have seen the dog several times down this hallway, and I have seen pictures when people have taken pictures down this hall, and they brought me their camera and showed me the back of their screen, and on several occasions, there's been a white dog show up in their photograph. There was a homeless man and his dog killed right there in that elevator shaft to your left about 2 decades ago, and they seem to think it's still them that actually walk the halls here. Also, we ask you not to wander off. And we ask you that, first of all, it's not safe for anyone to wander off by themselves. We don't want anyone to get hurt. But there's also a story that happened right here at this spot. Now, I'll be the first one to tell you that it did not happen to me. I was not on this tour, so I can just tell you the way the story goes. There was a tour guide standing right here, giving a tour, telling them all about Timmy and all about the things that go on in this hall, when there's a young man standing right over there in front of that door next to the elevator shaft who decides to wander off into that room by himself. Now, of course, at nighttime, people wander off, and we ask them not to for your own safety, but he wandered off into that room, and then suddenly they said they heard a blood-curdling scream. They said he come flying out of the room, shoving people over, knocking people left and right. He wanted to get out to the stairs and get out of this building. So the 2 guys that were in the back of the group, they actually take off after him. And they finally catch up with him down on the 1st floor. He wouldn't even stop to talk to them. They tried to get him to stop. He was fighting them. He was out of the building. He was very serious. So they took him out of the building, and they took him down the road a little bit and got him away from the building. And they finally got him to sit down and calm down and ask him what it was that scared him so badly when he went into that room. He said when he went in that room, now that's an L-shaped room that goes in behind that elevator shaft. Used to be a linen storage room. He said when he went into that room and looked around the corner behind that elevator, there was a very tall, dark shape. Of course, that was enough to scare him. So as he turned and started to run out, and he still maintains this story is 100% true still today. He's in his later 30s. He still comes to Waverly every now and then, a few times a year. He's never stepped foot back in this building. He says he never will. And he still says this story is 100% true. He said when this thing turned and looked toward him as he started to run, that there was no eyes. He still holds to that story today. So I'm going to let you, if you would like to go in there and look for yourself, I'm going to let you in just a minute. Couple of conditions, guys, very important. No flash photography, please, and no flashlights turned on. Go in very small groups of 5 or 6 because it is a tiny room, and you may begin.
Which room is it? Which room is it?
Right here.
This one? Okay, that's enough people in there now.
Oh my God. just
I
saw
want
it.
to go.
Oh, what? I'm leaving.
Nuh-uh. There's too many people in there right now. If you can't take, if you don't have light, you can't really take pictures if you don't have flash.
No, you can't. You can only look in the darkness and hope to see this tall, eyeless figure.